As Real Madrid's only purchase of the 2022 transfer window thus far, Aurélien Tchouameni was a statement signing for Los Blancos. Real has benefited greatly from a world-class trio who have controlled and dominated neutral space, contributing to immense accolades and success, both individually and as a collective. Toni Kroos, Carlos Casemiro, and Luca Modric have a legitimate case to be considered as one of the greatest midfields in the history of the game, and their balance of vision, precision, and ball-winning brilliance has been a joy to witness. But all good things must come to an end, and with the season set to be Toni Kroos' final at the Bernabeu, those at the helm at Real Madrid must look to replace players of immense quality. The project began with the promotion of Federico Valverde from Real Madrid Castilla to Julian Lopetegui's first team in the 2017-2018 season. The next gambit was the purchase of Frenchman Eduardo Camavinga, who was 18 years old at the time. Tchouameni completes the trio, and as a mega signing at 88 million euros, Real Madrid have made their intentions clear. Each player brings a tremendous skill set and provides Madrid with a different kind of midfield balance. However, with each player being under 25 years of age, and with their current abilities, the potential is tremendous, and as you will find out, this trio may be the solution that Real Madrid is looking for. Federico Valverde is a product of modern football. As football fans, we have been blessed with several evolutions of total football, and the contemporary game requires components that are capable of withstanding multiple tactical applications. Valverde is such a player. The Uruguayan was identified by Santiago Solari, while the legend was managing the Castilla side. His talent was evident, as was his adaptability, with Valverde deployed as an attacking midfielder, central midfielder, and centre-back. At 19, he had a market value of 3 million euros before ever seeing first-team action, and Madrid sought to develop the youngster by sending him out on loan to Deportivo La Coruña in the 2017-2018 season. Valverde started 17 matches for La Coruña, who lined up in the 4-2-3-1, once again demonstrating his ability as a versatile and well-rounded player. His usage in such a wide range of tactical applications demonstrates the tactical intelligence that Valverde possesses. To earn 17 matches as a starter, as a 19-year-old, in arguably Europe's most technical league at the time is impressive enough, let alone the fact that he did this while operating in a different role nearly every week. Valverde was one of the saving graces and sparks for a La Coruña side who would eventually be relegated to the Segunda Division by the end of the season. The youngster did not possess eye-popping stats, but his demonstrations proved his versatility and supplied ample material to build a truly exceptional football player. However, what set Valverde apart was his proclivity for surging runs into space. From the outset of his time at Castilla, he demonstrated his ability to run with the ball at full speed, while in complete control. This is a rare talent that makes for electrifying runs, and the ability is critical, allowing for progressive carries for instant transitions and counterattacks. When he returned to Madrid the following season with a market value of 7 million euros, Los Blancos had absolutely no desire to let him go. However, with the quick turnover of Lopetegui and Santiago Solari as managers, who were keen to make a good impression at the Bernabeu, Valverde was overlooked in favor of the team's senior players. It was not until Zinedine Zidane returned as manager of Real Madrid in the last few months of the season that Valverde was able to demonstrate his class. The 2019-2020 season was essential for Valverde's ascension, as he provided Zidane with exceptional tactical flexibility. Zidane's preferred formations of the 4-3-3 adapted to the 4-2-3-1, and the 4-4-2 had no impact on Valverde, as he could be deployed in nearly any position, and the quality of his play never suffered. With his mentality of surging forwards with the ball at his feet on full display, he started 44 of Real's 52 total matches, playing as a right winger, central midfielder, and defensive midfielder. At times, Zidane played the 4-3-3 without traditional wingers in the system, as Hazard was trying to establish himself at the team. Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. were 18 and 19 years old respectively, and Gareth Bale had never been rated by the legendary Frenchman. As a result, the channels could be taken solely by the fullbacks on either side, with occasional support from Benzema drifting to the flank. In certain tactical applications, the right channel was vacant, even when Gareth Bale was on the pitch, as the Welshman would drift to the left flank to participate on the left overload on the opposite channel. Yet Zidane preferred to place Valverde centrally to increase his range and impact. He could drift along the line, in the attack, to locate space, facilitate. As the 7th most targeted man at the club, Valverde finished the season with a 90% reception rate. At 21 years of age, he was demonstrating that he could hold his own as a replacement of one of the world's best on any given night. Over 52% of his total yards with the ball at his feet were positive, with the midfielder surging into space. Real Madrid, as a whole, finished the season with a league-leading 917 shot-creating actions, a margin of plus 39 over second-place Barcelona. This is due to the fact that Zidane played an incredibly aggressive style of football, with Carvajal, Marcelo, and Mendy acting as advancing forwards as a standard practice, with players rotating their positions constantly in the attack. Real Madrid finished second in La Liga for possession, with 59%, and the majority of this possession was on the attack, in a constant wave of pressure. Zidane could afford to play this aggressively due to his elite midfielders, with Casemiro acting as a libero around the penalty area and the advanced pitch ball winner in advanced space. Valverde could in turn utilize his defensive acumen to identify vulnerable zones while attacking and take his position within the space. Zidane's intentions were twofold, as Valverde could cover the area, win the ball back, and then surge into the attack with teammates in dangerous space. This made Valverde a highly effective defensive asset. With his ability to read the game and with his quickness, he could cover wider zones in defensive play. His tactical awareness ensured that once the ball was regained, it was distributed to the right man for the specific attacking scenario. With an 89% pass completion rate, Valverde was a precision passer and provided the capability to distribute the ball at range. His displays, adaptiveness, and utilization saw his market value skyrocket to 66 million euros at the age of 21 by the end of the season. Simply put, clubs put a premium on players who excel in the transition, as the correct utilization of the space is vital to creating shot and goal creating actions over the course of 90 minutes. As a player who was given primary defensive responsibilities, he finished 9th on Real Madrid for shot creating actions, while 4th for goal creating actions. And he performed his defensive roles equally as effectively as Real Madrid's 5th leading tackler and 6th best ball-winning tackler. With midfielders such as these, you can control the space with fewer players, as there is a man who is competent in all phases of the game within it. He can work within and along the channels to exploit them, and he is most effective in the counter-attacking phase of play. He was a critical component in Real Madrid's title-winning season, contributing 5 assists and 2 goals in all competitions. He was a threat from range, as he would take his shots from the 7th longest distance on the squad, while placing 6th as the most accurate shooter. All the while, he maintained the 4th best pass completion from any Real Madrid player, with 88%. In his final season under Zidane, his stats remained effectively the same, as the Uruguayan had carved out a place for himself in Real Madrid's elite midfield. He was rewarded with a contract that will keep him with Los Blancos until 2027, and with a release clause in the region of €1 billion. It is clear that the midfielder is a critical component of Real Madrid's future plans. The ascension of Eduardo Camavinga has been a joy to behold, as he is a player who has defied all the odds. The young Frenchman plays far beyond his age and possesses exceptional talent. He has overachieved since he first took the pitch for both Julian Stefan and Rennes in the latter stages of the 2018-2019 season. At 15 years old, Camavinga was pushed straight into the deep end, adapting seamlessly as the central midfielder in the 4-4-2. He began his career with just 2 minutes of playing time. However, 2 matches later, he was a starter, and he ensured that he never lost grasp of his place in the starting 11. From the outset, his calmness on the ball, professionalism, and sensibility made him the ideal other half of a double pivot system in the 4-4-2, and occasionally as the holding midfielder in the 3-5-2. Camavinga finished 4th on Rennes for completed passes, while maintaining the highest average pass completion. He averaged an astounding 77% passing accuracy for long ball completions, a ridiculous figure for any player, let alone one who was 15 years old. However, what distinguished Camavinga was his tackling ability, which was apparent and evident for all to see. Camavinga possesses an intuitive understanding of space and appears to be guided to the ball like a heat-seeking missile. His quickness, agility, body control, and tactical awareness ensured that he could locate vulnerable zones and shut down the opposition immediately and decisively. With a mere 7 matches played, he finished 9th on Rennes for tackles, with 25, adding 7 crucial ball-winning tackles. Interim manager Julian Stefan guided Rennes to a 10th place finish in Ligue 1, and with the Coupe de France finals victory, they qualified for the Europa League, fixing a continental spotlight on the Rouge et Noir. Almost as importantly, Stefan trusted Camavinga and provided him with an opportunity to demonstrate a level of class that is rarely seen, and he delivered. With the departure of well-rounded ball winner and captain Benjamin Andre to Lille, Stade de Rennes had a hole to fill as the free-roaming ball winner. Andre was also capable of providing the occasional offensive spark and was a vital player to the team. Camavinga had big shoes to fill. As a 16-year-old starter, he was deployed as a left-sided midfielder in the 4-3-3 that could convert into the 3-5-2, with constant advances from the fullback Ben Sibiani and Hamadi Traoré. Additionally, Stefan lined up in the 4-4-2, in which Camavinga acted centrally as a holding defensive midfield player. By fielding 2 holding midfield players, Stefan opted for a width-based approach to goal, and counter-attacking to create chances. As such, he prioritized the defensive phase, preferring the 4-4-2 to defend. The system required accurate distribution to the flanks, and midfielders who could read the play and cover for advancing teammates. Camavinga was vital to Stefan's plans, as the link player in space, to connect the tiers and identify points in the transition. Stefan played an organized and prioritized defensive phase, with compact defending, and with a strong presence in the hole, while maintaining backline integrity. Stefan also played without traditional wingers at times, allowing for the flanks to be taken by a variety of players, including Camavinga. And Stefan provided lanes for the Frenchman to advance with the ball in transition. Rennes did not have an abundance of players who were capable of this. However, tactically, Camavinga's abilities as a ball winner dictated that he was responsible for vulnerable space in the attack. As such, Camavinga was to demonstrate his tactical awareness by advancing cautiously. He performed exceptionally, finishing second on Rennes for progressive distribution, while maintaining an 80% successful dribble rate. Camavinga was now regularly venturing into the attacking third to create, with his touches within the space increasing to 155. He finished 9th on the squad for shot-creating actions, while 7th for goal-creating actions. He completed the 3rd most passes under pressure in all competitions. However, despite this, he finished 2nd on Rennes for pass completion, with 89%. With such precision, he could link play at all tiers. He could transition the play and dispatch by stretching the attack at medium and long range. Mistakes by the 16-year-old were few and far between, and it is rare that you will ever see a player who is this composed at such a young age. What is also impressive was his consistency and his ability to remain focused in big matches. What was otherworldly about Camavinga, however, was his defensive ability, which he gave a glimpse of in the previous season. With his acceleration, he had the ability to cover large zones, with excellent recovery speed. This made him the ideal player for Stefan, as the free-roaming ball winner. As Rennes' primary pressure point, he was not limited to one zone, and his responsibility was to disrupt and destroy the attack with immediacy. This led to 27 interceptions and 30 blocked passes. With incredible agility, flexibility, and explosiveness, Camavinga is a decisive, acrobatic, and sure tackler. He represented Rennes very well, as Ligue 1's leader for total tackles, while also being first for tackles in the neutral third, and 6th for ball-winning tackles. Having such a player was critical for Stefan to control the midfield, and Camavinga proves one of the game's most central philosophies. When you control the midfield, you control the match. As a whole, Rennes performed far beyond expectations, finishing in 3rd place after a truncated season. Their success was based on their defensive ability, as they tied PSG for second place for the fewest goals conceded, while scoring only 38 goals, which was good for 7th place in Ligue 1. Camavinga's second season as a professional and his first as a starter was unprecedented. His numbers were elite. He finished 10th for players in all Big 5 European leagues for tackles. He held his own quite comfortably when compared with arguably the best holding midfielders in the game. By the end of the 2019-2020 season, Camavinga saw his market value soar from 4.4 to 46 million euros. With Rennes now participating at the most elite level, there was the necessity to provide Camavinga with a partner of suitable quality and maturity. World Cup winner and veteran Steven Nzonzi was brought in to accomplish this, and the two paired well. With quality additions such as Jeremy Doku and Martin Terrier, Stefan could play the 4-3-3 with width, changing the tactical obligations of the midfield. With Nzonzi acting as the holding man, Camavinga could roll as the free man in advanced space. He could slip into pockets, making the formation a 4-1-4-1 and providing linkages in the attack. With coverage behind him, he could advance more freely and more intently in the attack. From the center of the pitch, he was Rennes' 6th most targeted man, with a reception rate of 91%. His dribbling was exceptional, with a success rate of 69%. With his precision passing ability, he could facilitate the play far more often, as evidenced by his substantial increase in attempted passes. Interestingly enough, his passing accuracy remained unchanged at 89%. His general touches on the ball increased substantially, and his distributions and actions were far more attacking oriented, contributing to 44 shot creating actions, 4 goal creating actions, 1 goal, and 2 assists. With coverage behind him, he could advance the ball more freely and more intently in the attack. However, despite his attacking prowess, his defensive demonstrations remained the same. In the role of free-roaming ball winner, he could seek the ball, leading to a team-leading 111 tackles and 70 ball-winning tackles. He also led the team in pressures once again, with 628. On a league-wide level, he finished second for tackles and ball-winning tackles. With Stefan now opting for a more possession and attacking-oriented style of play, Rennes averaged the 2nd most possession in Ligue 1. They scored substantially more goals than the previous season with 52. However, their riskier style of play made them more vulnerable, reflected by their 40 goals conceded. By the end of his 3rd season, Eduardo Camavinga was being pursued by the most elite clubs in world football, and he had his pick of options. However, according to him, the decision was easily made. Camavinga's rise must be noted, as it is unlikely that we will ever see something like this again. For a player to insert himself so directly into the game at such a young age, and with such consistency, is a rare occurrence indeed. Furthermore, for that same player to end up at Real Madrid with the expectation that he will be an active participant to attain their lofty ambitions and standards should not be lost on anybody. Camavinga's accomplishments throughout his time at Rennes alone should be savored. Yet, as we would come to find out, the foundation that he laid was only the beginning. Aurélien Tchouaméni is yet another gem in France's glimmering crown, who has enjoyed a stratospheric rise since he turned professional at 18 years old. He began his professional career with a valuation of 5.5 million euros, a testament to his exceptional skill set and maturity. Tchouameni is renowned for his professionalism, managing 19 matches over all competitions. He was deployed in a defensive role in various systems for Poyet, operating in a double pivot midfield partnership, paired with Brazilian Otávio as the left-sided midfielder in the 4-3-3. The system dictated that Otávio had primary responsibilities as the holding midfielder in the pair, while Tchouameni could advance more frequently, although they could rotate if necessary. Bordeaux did not have exceptional attacking players and did not possess a designated number 10, making width a vital component of their attack. It was crucial for the attacking line to remain advanced in various alignments. As such, the midfield players would normally act while being outnumbered, making medium and long-range passing essential. Tchouameni demonstrated his competency, maintaining a pass completion rate of 80%, accounting for 7 passes while under pressure per 90 minutes. He held his own in central space and finished the season with a 75% successful dribble rate, while creating 7 shots. By his second season, Tchouameni continued to perform as a left-sided midfielder in the 4-3-3. New manager Paulo Sousa was looking to overcome Bordeaux's lack of an attacking midfielder by playing a target man in Frenchman Jimmy Brand, with his wingers acting more compact, giving angles to the midfielders with optional width, which was to be supplied by true wingbacks. A sweeper in front of the back three was now vital, and Otavio, who finished 6th in Ligue 1 for tackles the season prior, was the right man for the role. This made Tchouameni an important link player to connect the lines and facilitate play in advanced space. Each midfielder's role was made substantially more difficult because of this, as their split tiers invited pressure from the opposition. Bordeaux took the most passes under pressure in Ligue 1 over the season, with Otavio finishing first on the squad and Tchouameni finishing 5th. His ability to distribute the ball with accuracy while being under duress allowed for Bordeaux to play the system, while minimizing the chances of the counterattack to push numbers forward. Pockets of space were ample, but he had to take them strategically. In the 3-4-3, with an extra man in the midfield, he was given license to venture into the attacking third, to continue to develop as an attacker, in addition to his defensive-minded duties. He took the vast majority of his touches in the neutral third, and teams knew that the Frenchman would be operating on an island upon reception. And yet, despite this, he maintained a 94% reception rate and went 13 of 17 for dribbles and contested space. However, his carries increased with 606, accounting for 1,377 yards of positive carries. Under Sousa, the youngster demonstrated another dimension of his game, becoming more involved in the crucial transitional phase of play. With creative touches, he gave glimpses into his visionary capabilities, producing 16 shot-creating actions, with a further 2 goal-creating actions. With the slower, older back three, Bordeaux played a narrow and compact back line that remained coordinated and flat to induce the offside trap. In this way, Bordeaux could advance as high up the pitch as possible in the attack, while minimizing the impact of a potential counterattack. They only generated 453 shot-creating actions throughout the season, good for second last in Ligue 1. Playing in a system that did not have a designated central presence overtasked the central midfielders, who had to be exceptional in both phases to overcompensate. Emphasis was placed in the central midfielder's ability to absorb pressure in the build-up play. Numbers had to be maintained in advanced positions, and the back line had a full view of the pitch for direct play. A full 31% of his passes were made under pressure, as he maintained an 86% pass completion rate. His long and medium-range passes were major assets, as Tchouameni was responsible for distributing the ball to teammates in space, or the odd counter-attack. He accomplished all of this while only participating in half of Bordeaux's matches for the season, maintaining an astonishing 94% reception rate. As a collective, Bordeaux finished 5th in Ligue 1 for possession, 4 places higher than the season prior. This improvement is due to players like Tchouameni, who had proven his worth as a smooth operator, who could facilitate play in crowded space, allowing for more control of the run of play and the final outcome. His touches in the neutral third were critical for alleviating pressure for his teammates. When out of possession, he was an excellent disruptor, finishing 13th on the squad for tackles with 21, and 10th for ball-winning tackles with 20. Although he was far from the top, it was the location of his tackles on the pitch that increased their significance. Going into the new year, Bordeaux sat 13th in the league, and Tchouameni was a critical member of the squad. He accomplished all of this while only participating in 19 matches, for the world was starting to take notice of the 19-year-old Frenchman's ability. He had increased his market value to 15.4 million euros, and was seen as one of the most elite young talents in the world. With his contract in its final year, his market value up substantially, and Bordeaux's debts mounting, they were forced to sell their star man to league rivals, Monaco, for a fee of 20 million euros. In his first full season, he was critical for Niko Kovac's plans, playing in every single game for Monaco, and it is under the Croatian manager that Tchouameni took his game to another galaxy. Kovac, who knows a thing or two about midfielders, utilized several formations, though he preferred systems with 2 holding midfielders. Monaco's offensive quality was considerably greater than Bordeaux's. Tchouameni was paired with fellow Frenchman Youssouf Fofana, and the two made a formidable pairing. They could each cover a wide range, shifting their zones as dictated by the flow of play. Monaco finished the season in 3rd place for possession with 56%, and they had the quality to spend the majority of their time in possession on the attack. For Kovac, the Frenchman developed his game as a facilitator in the midfield, as the club's 2nd most targeted player, with a reception rate of 93%. However, Tchouameni was facilitating the play in a substantially more attack-minded role. As he continued to develop as a box-to-box midfielder, he expanded his role as a late runner into the box, and was now seeking more goal-scoring opportunities, with 2 goals and 4 assists for Monaco. With his calmness, technical ability, and new role, He became a critical pressure outlet in the most vulnerable area of the pitch, taking the most passes while under pressure at the club by a substantial margin. With the backing of his new manager, he had the most spectacular offensive season of his career until that point. But it was his defensive performances that were earning him the attention of Europe's most blue-blooded clubs. Aurélien Tchouameni was 20 years old, and at his young age, he was already at an advanced age of development. With tremendous athleticism and tactical intelligence, he was able to dominate his space completely. Tchouameni accounted for an astonishing 64 interceptions, good for 4th place in Ligue 1. Monaco sustained a dominant defensive campaign, finishing at the top of Ligue 1 for tackles and ball-winning tackles. This is due in large part to Tchouameni, who ended the season at 2nd for tackles and ball-winning tackles respectively. His ability to read the play, identify and neutralize the attacking threat was invaluable and literally made him worth his weight in gold. Like Camavinga, he seemed to be guided to the ball with an instinctive ability to make a vital play at the right moment. The elite midfielder was a pivotal member of the squad who narrowly missed out on Champions League qualification. However, with their significant improvements from the season prior, and with the youngster's valuation of 33 million euros, Monaco were gleefully celebrating their decision to include him in their plans. Kovac had constructed a dominant defensive unit that was held together by a solid midfield core. In the new season, Tchouameni's role was largely left unchanged. The only difference is now that his range and impact was increased, allowing for him to utilize his instincts in a greater capacity. He contributed a ridiculous 114 interceptions, and his defensive performances qualified him as the most elite box-to-box midfielder in Europe. His many suitors knew that if they were to wait any longer, his substantial market value of 66 million euros would only increase. There were many blue-chip clubs in the bidding, but ultimately, the allure of becoming a Galactico under the bright lights of the Bernabeu was far too great, and Tchouameni penned a 6-year deal as Real Madrid's only paid transfer thus far. The three superstars were almost surprisingly thrust straight into the deep end with an El Clasico start, against a loaded Barcelona side, albeit in a pre-season friendly. Despite this, the match still provided a mouth-watering preview of what we can expect from this historic rivalry. And the quality of this midfield trio. Ancelotti debuted the three with Tchouameni as the holding midfielder, with Camavinga on the left and Valverde on the right. This is an unsurprising arrangement. However, we would not be surprised if Tchouameni and Camavinga act in alignment or rotation, with Valverde given a free role. There is the potential for substantial change, as Valverde can serve as the link to the front line through pacey runs, with the potential to distribute the ball to the flanks, or attack the space with precise direct play. This tactic frees Benzema to focus exclusively on the finishing phase of play, with less responsibility as the false nine, to facilitate the maneuvered phase of play. This may be a welcome change for Benzema, who will undoubtedly look to end his career at Real Madrid, and continue to establish his incredible legacy at the club. As he ages, he can act as a pure poacher, saving his energy for the decisive moments, while allowing for his team's live wires to get the ball in goal-scoring positions. It can be argued that Ancelotti plays an even more aggressive style of play than Zidane, with Alaba and Militao regularly advancing into the attack, while also playing a high line. It is exhilarating to think about the attacking combinations and build-up that the Italian maestro will come up with the players at his disposal. We can only appreciate truly pivotal moments in history with the benefit of hindsight, As we look back and we realize that we bore witness to something substantial. For Real Madrid, this occurred when Toni Kroos, Luca Modric, and Carlos Casemiro took the pitch for the first time as a trio. The rest is history. As football fans, we can only hope that we bear witness to a second consecutive generationally talented trio, regardless of the club. It just so happens that this club is Real Madrid, who do nothing by accident. Only time will tell how this trio will work out. However, if anything else, the journey to this point for all three players is something that we are unlikely to witness again. We are hopeful that the journey thus far is just the tip of the iceberg, and if this trio can reach even a fraction of their potential, there is a lot to be excited about. Hey guys, if you've watched until this far, we hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please let us know by leaving a like and subscribing, as it gives us the motivation to keep on going. We hope to see you again very soon.